Hi, my name's Jackson. Welcome to Venture to the Edge podcast. The best player of all time is Bo Jackson.
Ronaldo's new contract is absolutely insane. And I don't know the name of, I should know the name of the team, but it's like Al Nazar or something like that, but in Saudi Arabia. Per year, $173 million, which now
It's
he
too
makes
much.
him.
It's
He's
just too much.
he's the highest paid athlete of all time now. And I think it gets more interesting when you break it down like his per minute or per hour. So per hour, he's making $21,400. Per minute, $357. And then per second, it's $6, which is just insane.
And that's all the time, right?
Yeah,
It's not just like when he's playing or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. So it's just like when he's sleeping, $6.
Unbelievable.
$6. Yeah. I think it's a 3-year total contract, 2 or 3. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's a lot of money.
Bro, instead of counting sheep, he's just counting in sixes, man.
Yeah.
That's all the money he's making. That's crazy.
Well,
and that's his contract, right?
Yeah.
So that's not like all the endorsement deals and brand deals or whatever he does around it.
Yeah, so I think like the off the field stuff, I don't think it's included. I don't really know.
That's insane.
I don't think that stuff is typically included in their player contracts. So the amount of jerseys that are going to be bought from like that, it's going to be insane.
Oh yeah, I mean, like even just Ronaldo fans might buy the jersey, and then fans of the team will buy the jersey, and collectors will buy the jersey. It's going to go crazy.
Now you just have like a whole country that's excited about it. So the whole country's just buying his jerseys. It's kind of like the Argentina jersey. It's very rare that you see an Argentina jersey that's not number 10 and it's Messi's. It's always Messi's jersey, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. And this is how I think about it. When you're spending that much money on something for your team, you don't want to get like the 6th best player, you know?
Yeah. I'm gonna get it. I don't even know they sell people that come off the bench. They sell. I'm assuming. I guess they still sell their jerseys.
They definitely do. It's just, yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough to be on the same team as Messi. Just always living under his shadow.
Well, then now the argument now is not just like completely delve into soccer, but it's kind of relevant in the sense of the new contract with Ronaldo, but then also Messi winning the World Cup. Does it take away from Ronaldo's legacy that he's going to a team that's outside of kind of the bigger teams as far as like EPL goes, or in that sense? I don't know. It's kind of sad.
I don't know a lot about soccer, but I do know that I feel like all of the big leagues. You hear that? You hear my dog?
Yeah,
he's going crazy right now.
Amazon guys at the door.
Yeah. But I know that all the big leagues seem to be in Europe area, like La Liga and the Premier League. But do you know what league this new team is in?
So it's the Ronaldo's team?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
kind of a whole league in just Saudi Arabia.
You know, that's a great question. I honestly have no idea. I just know
that's fine.
Saudi Arabia. I'll look it up as you're kind of as
the dog is going insane.
He's going crazy. I don't know any other Saudi Arabia teams. I just know he's going there, and it's not.
That's fair.
It's not any of the, I guess to say, bigger known teams around the world, but it's the whole legacy thing with him in comparison to like Messi. Does it take away because he's going away? Because Messi's still at PSG. He's 2 years younger. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things.
I mean, I think if he dominates still, then probably not. But yeah, I mean, that's constantly the debate, right?
Yeah. Well, on this kind of the same topic, the same topic of money. When you look at the top, this is the Forbes top highest paid athletes of 2022, coming at the end of the year here, or now they were in 2023. The highest paid last year was Messi, and he made 130 million, which is not quite as much. That was like up for the year, as much as Ronaldo is going to be making. And then second was actually LeBron James at 121 million. Third was Ronaldo last year, 115. And then another soccer player, Neymar, 95 million. And then the round of the top 5, it was Steph Curry at 92.8. And you don't even get your first American football athlete until number 9. Do you know who number 9, the highest paid football?
Is it Patrick Mahomes?
It's not Patrick Mahomes. Not on this list, according.
It's not Tom Brady, is it?
It is Tom Brady.
It is? Wow.
Yeah. And that might
It's
be
probably
because his
endorsements and everything.
Yeah, his off-field stuff was 52 million, and his on-field was 31.9.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, LeBron, I mean, his on-field is only like 40 or 45 million. So that means he made up a bunch off, right?
So it looks like LeBron off-court, exactly. He made 80 mil off-court.
$80 million. Like, he doubled. That's double what he makes on the court, right?
Yeah, 41.2, which is crazy.
Yeah. That is that's just like Nike, all of his random commercials that he does, you know.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, it's kind of like Conor McGregor's not doing as much now, but Conor McGregor, he made a ton of money off
in that one year.
It was insane.
One fight against was it Floyd?
We did Floyd
Mayweather,
but then he had a couple of MMA fights. So his off fighting, as far as how much he made, Conor, let's see here. I think he was like 120 million or something crazy with all of his stuff he was doing extra. I know it was pretty high up there, but
yeah,
off versus on. That's all the endorsements, and is basically just building his brand, which he was very, very good at in his prime when he was building himself up and being the personality that he really is.
What has he done like in the last 3 years, 4 years?
Well, it's because he broke his leg. Did you see when he broke his leg?
Yeah. I remember that. And
so
I guess that's a long road to recovery.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he's got screws or pins and rods in there, and it's a long recovery time until he can be he can do well. So I don't know.
Jeez, man, that's sad. But anyways, lots of money going to these athletes.
Let's come off the money here, and let's all money talk in the beginning.
It's just relevant
conversation.
It's insane how many athletes are going to be billionaires soon, you know.
I think the interesting question in the sense of, if you look at the amount of people that watch sports in comparison to 10 years ago, with the amount of just streaming services out there or the amount of content that people can view, I wonder if the average or the total net viewing of all sports is up or down since like 10, 15, 20 years ago. And how can you justify that in the sense of how much money they're making in relation to inflation? Now, that's a huge question, but I think about that. It's like, okay, should it be going up, or is the viewers going down? I don't know. I feel like it should be going down, right?
I feel like viewership has gone down, at least in the big games. But I think more money has been poured into these teams potentially for whatever reason. Like for marketing, for I don't think ticket sales for the most part, maybe just branding in general. I don't know. I feel like more money has actually gone into these organizations, but I don't think the viewership's going up. It might be, but it just feels like it isn't.
Yeah, it might be because they have more avenues to make money, like you're saying. They might actually be making more money than they did in the past in relation to inflation.
I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
So like, because then now they have, I mean, it's ridiculous if they have a TikTok page or a Snapchat or posting stuff on YouTube or just different avenues to make revenue from, then they might be making more money, even though the viewership might be down potentially.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right, off the money game here. Sports is what we're talking about today. It is as simple and broad of a topic as that is, but we have a bunch of different ranges we can go into. And if you've listened to the podcast, you know I aggressively and just spend hours and hours per week watching sports, which is not true at all. Actually, yesterday, I don't know what I said, and I was being very sarcastic when I was coaching. It was like the beginning and a warm up. It was the end of the day. And I was like, yeah, I don't watch sports. And one of the girls was like, yeah, you're just messing with it. I was like, no, I legitimately don't watch sports. And she didn't believe me. She's like, what? I was like, no, I don't. That's not something I do. But when you were a kid.
And it's weird, sort of. I don't know. I've gotten into this phase of not watching sports either. maybe you're rubbing off on me, but I will. Well, it depends. I've changed which sports I watch now, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, it's weird that you like don't even want to watch sports.
Yeah, let's just go down that avenue in the beginning of this.
Okay.
Let's
All right.
just go down it. And just like you're saying, I think your viewership of watching sports or being invested or having the time to put into watching something changes as you get older or you're just doing new different things. Like it obviously does. And same thing, Kenny, you're coming out of college, so you're probably watching less sports now because of that. That could be one of the reasons for sure. Or the people you hang around with too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, I feel like that's definitely one part is I seem to only like to watch sports with other people. So I used to be able to just turn on a game and watch it. And, I wasn't always invested fully in the game, but I had it on. I was paying attention. But now, if I don't have someone watching it with me, or if I have zero stake in the game, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah. I look at it, this is my opinion and this is literally just how I feel about watching sports and just like my time that I have to entertain myself or do something that I want to do. I look at sports. Let me back up a little bit. Same thing. My time that I have. Would I prefer watching a new show, a different show, or playing video games in comparison to sport? Priority for me, it's just down the line. Like there's like 5 different things I would rather do than watch sports. Like watch a show, watch a movie, play with my dog, hang out with Lauren. Not that she's on the 4th on the list there, but in general, just in a general sense, hang out with Lauren, play games, something along those lines. There's so many things before that I would rather spend my time doing. And I don't have that much extra time to spend. And then I also feel like when I'm watching sports or watching a game, I'll watch a big game, no problem, like the Super Bowl. I'll watch it. Volleyball stuff, I'll watch it. But I can't really follow it enough to really become invested because then it's even more time of figuring out, all right, who's on this team, who's on that team. That's how I kind of feel about it.
It's a lot. And honestly, that's why I watch certain sports versus others. Like, for example, you brought up who's on what team, who's on this team, and like the time that it takes to know that. My favorite sport to watch now is the NBA because, well, I like the players. I like the style. Like basketball, it's a fast-paced sport, so you can like sort of stay into it, like volleyball is. And second, the teams. I mean, they're like 15-man teams, and really only 5 to 8 players are relevant on that team. So it's much easier to like know players and keep up with them compared to college basketball that has hundreds of teams and they're different every year pretty much. And the players there's hundreds of players. I can't do college anymore because it's too much to keep up with, college football or basketball.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's just so many transitions, and I mean, I guess you could try to follow like your team in a sense, like in WKU or U of L, like one team of knowing who's on it. That's fine, but then outside of that, it's just too many changes consistently to invest time, and I don't know. That's how I feel about it. And the other way I feel about it too is, and this is, I don't know, this isn't necessarily weird. It's just my personality, my style. Is sports games are the same thing done over and over in a different pattern. That's what it is. It's the same thing, same mechanic. There might be a crazy play or something along those lines. It's a little bit different, but it's the same patterns over and over and over. The value in that from an entertainment standpoint can definitely be up there, especially if you're more invested in watching it or watching with friends or cheering on a team. I get that. But the value in, let's just say watching something else for me, whether it's a show or, I mean, even just watching YouTube channels or watching a movie, there's just a wider spectrum of creativity or stories or things that I can become invested in, or their characters that I just like, that's where I would rather spend my time.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And I understand that might be over analyzing it, but that's exactly how I'm like, I'll watch Wednesday. Like we actually started Wednesday and I'm enjoying it a lot.
I really like that show.
We're on episode, we watched 2 or 3 episodes. It's such a unique show.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah. But yeah, as far as the one aspect that I do enjoy about sports and the reason that I still watch them to a degree is I like the historic moments, like the things that happen that haven't happened, or just the crazy moments that are happening randomly in a game that it is all of a sudden an all-time like record, an all-time whatever. Because at least for the NBA right now, we're in an era of just records being broken constantly. Like LeBron James is going to break so many records by the time he finishes his career. One of my favorite players, Donovan Mitchell, just had a 71-point game, which hasn't happened since Kobe, and before that, since Wilt Chamberlain in like the 1960s. So, or I guess Michael Jordan. But anyways, so I love historic moments and watching games for those type of moments.
Yeah. What is LeBron 37? I think he's 37.
He's either 37 or 38. It's one of those.
I saw something where he said he's going to play till he's 45 or something. I was like, what the heck, dude?
I mean, if he could, he would.
He's got enough.
The craziest part is that he is still productive at a high level at 30. Like he is an elite player still.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, he's just going to break records because no one can play as long as him because he's put so much money into his body and discipline, which is super respectable. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, this is I believe it's his 20th year in the NBA, and he is still like insanely relevant statistics wise.
I don't know how sore he gets after games in comparison to now to back then, or I don't even know if he can get on testosterone replacements or things along those lines. I don't know if that's allowed in the NBA.
It's got to be cheating. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because he looks fit, he looks muscular, he looks lean. I mean, and he moves still pretty smooth. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you could tell he's lost a step, but not by much.
Yeah, well, when you're already that athletic, one step is not that big of a deal. it's just to a certain extent. What was the Luka? Was it Luka?
Luka Doncic.
What did he do?
He had a 60-point triple double with 20 rebounds, which has never been done.
Yeah, that's
ever.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I saw that on TikTok.
And
obviously,
to follow it up, that same week he had 2 more 50-point performances.
Jeez, no one's playing defense.
Insane. He is insane. Well, that's kind of the one thing that has been talked about is the NBA is in an era of zero defense,
no defense,
offense all the time.
And just shooting at the half court.
Yeah.
Wastes a ton of shots.
But the other thing is players are developing their shot more and can just make pretty much anything from any part of the court, no matter how good a defense you play. So it's a balance. Like, do you practice defense even though they're always going to make it? Or do you practice your shooting ability so that you can always make it?
Yeah. I mean, and then when you look at having to defend a court where people are shooting further out, the amount of effort you're going to have to put into to defend those zones is just way higher. So you just get exhausted.
Yeah. Defensive schemes, I don't fully, I never really played basketball past like 5th grade. So
yeah,
I understand the complexities of offensive schemes versus defensive schemes.
Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty simple. I never played basketball. I played like one church league. I never played in a competitive sense where I was part of a team or a league, but I played a ton of basketball with my neighbors, my brother, and friends. So if you look at like defensively, if you're like man marking, essentially you're just following the same person. You can switch off, and then like zone. I played. I don't know if more teams play zone now because of people shooting further out. But if you're trying to cover that much court, more so now, when you get more fatigued from that, then that's going to affect your shot. So where do you find the middle ground? It makes it difficult. It's changed the game for sure. Steph Curry over here.
Yeah.
Breaking
and then the
system.
last thing I'll say is about the NBA, because we'll move on to another sport.
No, it's not good. We'll go soccer, basketball, a little bit of football. Yeah. It's a sports episode.
Zone defense was actually illegal in the NBA back in the 90s because of Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq
Really?
was so dominant in his
Yeah.
own defense that they were like, we can't do this.
Huh.
We got to change something for the league to actually be fair for everyone else. Straight up.
I wonder if there ever would be a force like Shaq again. He was such a unique player, and I definitely watched him a little bit, and I've watched highlights of his stuff. I mean, he just so big and so powerful,
So big and
Just
so dominant. And he actually, I mean, he had a quick first step, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, he was
how
not
big he
slow.
was.
Massive guy. I don't know.
He's
Of the-
7'3".
Yeah, the likes of him again in the league. If you've never watched any of Shaq stuff and you're interested in basketball and you're a little bit younger, just go check out some highlights.
Crazy.
It's definitely, yeah. There's some good highlights out there. When you were a kid, I know you played your baseball. I was a soccer and mainly basketball thing. But is there a sport that you wish that you would have played, or a sport that you wish you could play now?
Gosh.
I have mine while you're thinking. This one's completely out there though.
Go for it.
I don't even know if it would be something that I can do, if there's like a league or somewhere that I could have done this in Louisville, but I wish I would played water polo. And I know it's kind of just like out there, but I've said this before, but
What?
water polo. Yeah, no, seriously. It's so much.
Why?
In college, I had a PE class that I had to take for exercise science, and I did a swimming class, something easy, something different to do. And we played water polo a couple of times, and I just really, really enjoyed it. And I was like, I wish I could have played this as a kid, because I was pretty good at it. I mean, I kind of grew up in a pool at my grandma's house, and I swam all the time. I wish I would have played water polo. That's my go-to. I played a bunch of other sports, but I think water polo is my one.
That's
You have
such an
one?
insane answer. Like,
Polo.
I played in organized like school league for basketball from kindergarten through fifth grade, or not kindergarten, sorry, second grade through fifth grade. And then I tried out for the sixth grade team, and I didn't make it. And then I said, it's not worth it. But right now, if I had to choose a sport, I would probably pick basketball.
Basketball.
Just because that's what I'm into, and I think it would be so sick to just be dominant. Unfortunately, I'm not tall enough for basketball. I would be probably the shortest player in the league right now.
Shortest play.
I'm not
in the
kidding.
NBA.
Yeah, in the NBA. Like, I'm 5'8", 5'9" on a good day, I guess. And yeah, I'd just be dominated. So if it wasn't basketball, I couldn't really play football either. I'm tiny, way too tiny for that. I think soccer, I used to hate on soccer. I was a big soccer hater, but I don't know. The fitness level is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then being able to just like handle a ball like they do would be crazy. So.
Yeah. There's then like not necessarily sports, but I saw a crazy highlight. I don't know if there was the World Championship this past year or whatnot. If you had to pick out of these, let's say if you had to pick out of these three, I might throw a fourth one there in a second. Which one would you rather be super efficient at? This is a really weird question though.
Okay.
Darts,
Okay.
pool, or ping pong? Which one would you like if you could be like
Efficient?
Like no, not even efficient. Like if you could almost be like amateur professional level, where you kind of like did that as a side gig kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which one would you choose? Darts. I saw the darts championship. It was lit. They were getting real hyped. But
no,
I don't know if you saw it.
When I was watching sports and I would like scroll through the TV, a couple times, I saw like darts championship. I was like, what the heck is this? I click on it. There are people in costumes. Like there's a huge crowd and they're screaming at them. And in between all of their darts like round, they throw 3 darts and then the next person goes. They're just like drinking a beer, chugging a beer or something. Like it was so insane.
They were, yeah, I don't know if it was this past year or whatnot. I saw a video and the first guy to go up to throw, I think he needed to hit, I think it was double 20, which is that small little space. And then I think single something else, 18 or something. I can't remember specifically the numbers, but I think both of them had to hit the same thing to finish the game.
Dude.
And the first guy barely duffed it. He hit the double 20, and then the next throw, he was just outside. And then the other guy comes up and just darts it. And then literally they go to like the fans and they're going nuts. I'm like, this is darts.
Yeah, it is. No, I think like darts is definitely, well, I don't know. Do you think darts or ping pong is goofier of a sport in general?
I don't know. I really like ping pong. I mean, I enjoy playing
I
darts
like
as
ping
well.
pong, but it's kind of goofy. Like the clips of them standing like 7 feet from the table, just like whacking that thing is
Yeah, well,
crazy.
it's because they have to almost contort their body that much to get that the crazy spin that they put on the
Yeah,
ball
yeah.
and things along those lines. Ping pong and
I
yeah,
think just if I was going to be an amateur / pro at something, I think I'd pick pool.
pool.
It just seems like the angles, the spin that they could put on it, like kind of all those little minute details. I think would be crazy, and I feel like I could hustle some people.
Hustle some. I was it was recently. I think it was this past week. I listened. Well, it was this past week, but Joe Rogan had a professional pool player on, and they talked about pool the entire podcast, which was like 2 hours long, and it got me really interested actually in some of the stuff in the pool world. And they were talking about like 9-ball, or they're talking about like different tables that are bigger and all the angles and stuff. It was pretty interesting and how intense some of those guys are. They like play all day to be as good as they are, and the cues and different stuff like that. But those small billiard games and things along those lines, they're always fun to kind of just mess around with. I played a lot of ping pong in high school.
You played a lot of ping pong? Were you good?
Yeah, I'm still good. What do you mean? I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I had a neighbor that in his basement, he had a legit ping pong table. So I always didn't like playing on a ping pong table that was like a topper on a pool table, because it's slightly higher. And he had legit paddles, and he was 2 years older than me. My brother's 2 years older, and we all went to Manual, so we all went to the same high school. And when we didn't have soccer going on, I would go over there and play ping pong and just sweat. We'd play for hours, and he was better than me, so it made me better. I had to keep just like trying. And I love playing ping pong. There's one person, and I don't know if he listens to this podcast, but if he does, you got to text me that you heard this part of this episode. There's one person that I have never beaten a single time in ping pong, and it really frustrates me. And I will eventually beat him. It's Zach. And the one we only played, I guess we've only played like one time. And I couldn't beat him. I was getting so frustrated. I couldn't beat him once. And I'm not bad at ping pong. I'm pretty good. It's frustrating.
He's just better.
He is better. He's so good at ping pong. I'm going to practice and play again. What is the worst sport to watch? What do you think is the worst sport to watch?
Worst sport? I hate to say it, but
say it. Yep, say it.
Yeah, I got to go with my home team, my home boys. It's baseball. It just is.
Yeah, I know. That's so sad.
I hate it.
I'd say baseball too. Was it baseball or golf? Would you rather watch golf, or you don't play? Have you played? Do you play golf?
I play golf.
Are you a golf?
Yeah, I play golf.
Okay.
I don't know. Golf's pretty boring too.
Yeah. I feel like those are typically the top two. It's like, all right, baseball or golf. Which one?
I think
whatever.
Okay, just like from an objective standpoint, I think it's still baseball, only because in golf there are always things happening. They're always scoring. Like even if it's like par, they're putting the ball in the hole. Okay. In baseball, you can have a 0-0 game for 17 innings. No one does anything the whole time, which is kind of boring to watch.
Yeah.
Now, for me, when I watch baseball, I like watching the small details that I picked up from like playing. So like the way the pitcher is pitching, how they're choosing their locations, how they're choosing which pitch to throw to which batter, and those kind of small things, the speed, all the small things that a pitcher is thinking about and doing and what the batters think. I like thinking about that mental game and watching it, but it's so boring still.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the
Even
same
though
thing
I
with
appreciate
soccer.
it,
Right. Well, it's the same thing for soccer. A lot of people say that soccer is really boring. But when you've played a sport, you can kind of view it in a different way because you're
Yeah.
looking at different components.
Yep.
So it can change your perspective or change the way you watch it. Because I enjoy watching soccer, and I watch it differently than if someone hasn't played soccer, as far as how they move in the field, what how
Yep.
they're passing, their tempo, their defense, whatever it is. And watching different aspects of it can change the way you view it. One
Yeah.
of the funny things. Go ahead.
Well, I will say baseball is the worst sport to watch on TV.
Yeah.
Live, I think it's a different experience to where it's not the worst thing. Like a night at the ballpark is kind of fun. I get a hot dog. I hang out with my friends normally. It's normally a chill night, which is kind of nice,
Have you been to a Reds game?
Oh, yeah. Plenty
Lauren
of
and
Reds games.
that stadium's really cool.
Yeah,
we
it
sat,
is cool.
We sat, I guess, like we're probably on the second baseline, so like we're literally like viewing the some of the tall buildings in the city of Cincinnati. But that's a cool, fun stadium. If you live in Louisville, you've never been to a Reds game, I would definitely recommend doing it. We had so much fun with that. We did a whole weekend in Cincinnati, and a lot of good food, and you could just walk. And the experience of that, I would say, is way more enjoyable than watching on TV, like you said. I would agree. For sure.
Just like being at the ballpark, it's almost like it's not electric by any means, unless it's a crazy game, late in the game, way late in the game. But it's kind of calm and like chill, and it's just a nice evening. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe if you haven't been there. But yeah, definitely go to a baseball game, experience it, see how you feel.
And it's definitely the Bats game. Not to take away from the Bats game, but the Bats game versus a professional baseball game.
Yeah,
it's a whole different level. It's a whole different level for sure. I would say it's definitely a better experience. I've only been to one professional baseball game, but that was just different for sure. It's not the same. And the hot dogs are way more expensive.
Yeah. The hot dogs it's a tough price.
How many professional games?
Gotta go on a promo night. I went on a 3-2-1 night, $3 beer, $2 hot dog, $1 ice cream night. So that was definitely worth it.
Way cheaper. I think the hot dog we got was like, I don't know, $8 or something stupid.
Probably.
Like some of this, and then like other stuff was like $10 to $15. I'm like, what? It's like marked up 5x
for no reason.
Yeah, professional games. I've only been.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've been to a Reds game. I haven't been to many, to be honest. I might have only been. I've been to a Reds game. I went to a U.S. women's soccer game when they were playing somewhere around here.
That's cool. Were they playing another country?
Yeah, I think it was like post World Cup. It was like a friendly that they came to Louisville and played. That was pretty fun.
Dang, that's crazy.
And honestly, I think that might be it.
I mean, pro sports. No, a lot of people don't go to pro sports games for the most part. Like, I've only been to one NFL game. No, wait, scratch that. I've been to two. But again, we were given tickets. It was like a super crazy thing to happen. But the first NFL game I ever went to, I got a ball signed by Peyton Manning.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, but the signature's kind of faded, so it's kind of tough.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like if you didn't know that it was signed, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. It's not pretty. You didn't bring the right Sharpie.
I know. But yeah, so that was pretty sick. Did you hear about the Bills game? What happened there? The Bills-Bengals game?
Yeah, so go ahead and I think
unbelievable.
Most people know about it, but if you want to kind of explain it, because I don't know his name. I should know his name, but I've seen it everywhere. Do you know his name?
He's a safety.
Let's get his name up.
Number 3. Look him up.
I'm doing it now.
But basically, it was just he tackled somebody, got hit. He kind of tackled him and got hit in the chest, and he was out. He was hurt, and med staff came out, to help him, and basically something along the lines of like not really a heart attack, but just like a heart, not even condition, but I don't know the right word, but a heart problem happened on that play, and they had to do CPR and like basically resuscitate him. They equivocated it to what happens when a baseball player gets hit in the chest with a batted ball.
Okay.
Like that's sort of the type of injury he sustained. And he was like, I mean, he was basically dead on the field, and they had to revive him. And the ambulance drove onto the field, got him out of there. I think he's stable, but in critical condition still. I haven't seen any updates recently, but I mean, it's just scary. And yeah, it's just awful what happened to him. They canceled the rest of the game, obviously, because I mean, you can't expect players to play after that.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. So it was his name is Damar Hamlin. I hope I'm saying that right. Damar. He suffered.
That's it.
It was on the Bills. So a statement from the Bills: Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest when the heart stops beating properly. Wednesday. And then, so as of an hour ago, CNN shows signs of improvement while still in critical condition in the ICU. So
all right,
hopefully, it's a crazy freak accident. And I get, and when you look at the athletic trainers that jump on the field and took care of that, that's crazy. I mean, because you don't actually resuscitate someone through CPR. It just kind of keeps the blood flowing. In that sense. But then they have to get the ambulance and actually shoot him up with, I can't remember the stuff that you shoot him up with to get his heart going again, but hopefully he'll recover quickly. It's a crazy, it's a crazy moment. It was everywhere.
The only reason I brought that up is because my friend was at that game, and it was his first NFL game. Yeah.
Whoa. That's not the.
Yeah. And so he was just like, man, and not that it's not that he wanted them to continue playing. He was just like, this is such an awful thing to happen, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm traumatized for this. Like he was sitting next to Bills fans that were just in tears, crying. He's a Bills fan himself. And yeah, just a tough moment.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I think a lot of stuff that I heard on is a lot of people did the right stuff and in the game, obviously, just if that
I heard they
happen.
really like, if they didn't respond the way they did, he could have died. So
yeah. Well, hopefully he'll recover pretty fast.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so too. But anyways, I just brought that up because like that's another like significant. It's a culture thing that happened, you know, on the sports field. But like an event that like brings people together, even though it was such a tragedy. But like millions of dollars got donated to his relief fund and to charities that he's a part of, and I think that's definitely one really, really cool part of sports is the community that is surrounding sports, you know? And after a tragedy like that, people are like brought together. Yeah.
Well, it's fans that are not like Bills fans versus, I don't even know who they're playing, but like in that Bengals, moment, everyone is a Bills fan kind of sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it kind of brings everyone together, even though there could be in other circumstances, your rivals or even
I mean that game had huge implications. Like those fans before the game, you know, they were out for blood. They wanted their team to win, but after that, I mean, it's not about that.
Yeah. Well, it's like Argentina when Argentina won the World Cup. I mean, I wanted to they party for a whole week and get excited and bring the whole country together. And I know I had a couple of families that I trained on Facebook. They were posting their crazy get together for the game and how excited they were and kind of bringing everyone together. That's the romantic side of sports in a good or bad sense that brings people together.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Anyways, I think that was just important to bring up while we're talking about sports because something definitely important that happened.
Yeah, definitely an appropriate time because it just happened, I guess, this past week and the Super Bowl's coming up too. Do you know who's left?
So they're still in the regular season. That was
okay.
Is that week 18?
Let's see when the playoffs start.
That was week 17. So they have one more week left, I believe.
Let's see.
And then the playoffs will start the subsequent week.
So you've got the wild card round, which I guess is the beginning of it, would be January 14th through the 16th. And then divisional round 21 through the 22nd. And then usually what the Super Bowl is, and the championships on the 29th of January. So the Super Bowl is typically in the beginning of February, right?
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's in February. So that was week 17. This next week, so starting tonight, is the last week of NFL.
Okay.
And then playoffs will start.
Yeah. Playoffs for a start. Are the Packers still going in here? My brother and my dad are a big Packers fan.
They're actually somewhat relevant this year. Oh, actually, there's a crazy. So right now they are they are just outside of the playoffs, but they control whether or not they go to the playoffs. If they win, they go to the playoffs. If they lose, they don't. So
Okay,
it's kind of a crazy situation.
Yeah, I actually have this up here. I can actually share this on my screen real quick. Let's just share this tab, and it's just and then you can also see it as well. Let's see, Packers, boom. Can you see that tab?
And now I can.
Cool. Yeah, so it looks like, I mean, NFL, you got Eagles, Vikings at the top of the conferences, right? Buccaneers. Buccaneers. Wait, so Brady's doing it? Brady's doing it? Oh, no.
At 8-8. It's pretty tragic. Like, it's embarrassing.
49ers are doing, it's kind of Eagles going off 13-3.
Yeah, Eagles have had a crazy year. Cowboys are going to choke it again.
Okay, so the Packers are essentially kind of tied with the Lions, I guess.
So the situation is basically the Seahawks are playing a team, and the Packers are playing the Lions. So if the Packers win, they obviously beat the Lions, so they're 9-8, and then they have a conference or so their record in the NFC North will be better than Seattle's record in the NFC West. So therefore they have the tiebreaker over Seattle. So they'll go to the playoffs over Seattle.
Okay.
It's a crazy like scenario of weird matchups and weird records and stuff. So
when is that game? Is that this weekend? The Lions Packers?
Yeah. No, it'll be it should be on Sunday.
Maybe I'll actually watch it. Maybe.
No shot. No shot.
Maybe I'll actually watch it. I don't know.
It is. It's Sunday night.
Okay. Well, I mean,
8:20.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll actually watch that one. Well, that's where you get into streaming services and being able to watch games nowadays. It's not the same as it used to be, and I don't even have regular TV. So being able to watch the games, where do I go watch it? Is it on Peacock? Is it on Hulu? I'm sure that the nice thing is the later games are usually a little bit more accessible. So, but
that's true. The later games are definitely like primetime television. You can find them most places.
Yeah. Well, luckily with the World Cup, I don't even know what streaming service I had to do. I think it was on Peacock or something, and I had to get my login from, it's like my mom's login or something. It's just harder to find games or being able to figure out what games are on. I wonder how many times people will Google, how do I watch this game? Is like a Googleable search. I bet you it's way up there.
I guarantee it's so many. Like there's so many searches right before the game starts. How do I watch X game?
Yeah, no, it's probably way up there when it comes to all this stuff.
Well, if you watch, let me know.
I might watch it. We shall see. I don't know.
All right.
Lauren and I feel like our weekends just always slip away. I mean, I'll wake up at 5 sometimes just to see if I can get as much stuff done as possible. And then something else seems to pop
crazy.
up. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I was it the Saturday before Christmas. So I guess it was Christmas Eve or maybe the Friday before Christmas. It was like the first, this is going to be me boohooing crying. It was like the first time I like legitimately sat down for like more than an hour and a half and just played video games for 3 hours straight in probably a couple of years. Like it's like that's the first time that I was like, okay. And it was Lauren was getting her nails done. So Aaron was helping out Lauren. And I was like, all right, well, I've got all my responsibilities done. And, okay.
All the cooking's done.
Yeah. It's just like, it's crazy, but
that's really funny.
So many responsibilities, got to put together this and that, and it's cold adulting. And I only have a dog right now.
Yeah, my sleep schedule has been so bad this week.
Yeah,
so bad.
Well, this is so true. When you come off of those 2 weeks of the holidays where there's so many different schedule changes, this, that, and the other, this week's hard to get back in line.
Yeah,
because of everything you're doing. And I know I have like last night I got off and I told Lauren, I was like, I'm just picking up food. I don't want to cook anymore. I'm done. I'm gonna pick. I went and
Yeah,
picked up.
that's a
I'm
real
done.
feeling. Gotta just you can take one night off of cooking,
Well, it's and the reason because of it is because on Sunday I was the laziest I've been in a long time. I literally just like did nothing productive, and usually it's all right. That's the cooking time for this prep and that prep, and then all of a sudden Monday hits, and like, all right, every responsibility that I neglected from the past couple of days, here they are. Hi.
Yeah, that's it.
Everyone knows that feeling. It's a lot of fun for sure.
Anyways, you got anything else sports related for me?
No, I mean we could talk about training, but I've talked about training so much when it comes to stuff. I think that's really going to be it. That's going to be it for this episode. It's going to be the shortest one we've had in a while, but I'm totally fine with that because we had some fun technical difficulties. If you ever want to get into podcasting and different stuff that comes up with tech wise, you're always going to have.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's great. It's amazing.
Well, the tech stuff is not fun when something you got to troubleshoot it, and thank God we can relatively troubleshoot. Cole had to change his entire computer to troubleshoot it. He's got a brand new computer,
I know,
but it was just having a little bit of issues. Not his fault.
The drivers, man.
So now Cole's got to figure out what's going on. That's part of your day.
That's my next thing to do after I get off this. But anyways.
Yeah, well,
bye. Have a great day, guys. Have an amazing day.